honestly, that blew my mind. It sucked so bad. How was your week?
Good. I have a story for you.
You have a story for me? Hold on. Let me just grab this Deadpool commemorative fucking cup.
Is that baby Deadpool?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Because this is what I buy at the theaters now.
Why?
I've been to 4 movies this year. I have 4 cups and buckets from the movie.
So you have Dune
Mm-hmm.
and Deadpool.
Furiosa, Dune,
Furiosa.
Deadpool. Oh no, I've only been 3 times.
I was gonna say, did you get the Twisters one?
No, was there one?
There was at AMC. See, but you go to Regal and I go to AMC, and AMC doesn't have that cool stuff.
Yeah, they fucked up.
I know, but it's cheaper. So, speaking of AMC, I have a story. I have a story for you, Kevin. Okay, so this isn't gonna be like the funniest story in the world. It's actually not funny at all. I want to tell the story because I got upset by it. So
Is that an
those of
annoying
you
sound?
I can't even hear that. Put it closer. I leaned into my microphone with my ear. Like, what the okay,
I'm just
good thing
doing
this
a
is
dumb
audio.
thing with the straw. Anyway, keep going.
Okay, so for those of you that don't know, little pretext to this story.
Pretext.
I'm the youngest of 7 siblings.
7.
And my oldest brother is mentally and physically handicapped. He wasn't supposed to live past the age of 12. He's 50.
Whoa, what kind of
Good on
physically and mentally handicapped?
I don't know the exact,
Just multiple.
he was strangled by his umbilical cord in the womb, lost oxygen to his brain, so he didn't develop. He can't talk, he can't walk, he can't function on his own, but he can understand you.
Yeah.
So, he understands what's going on around him, but he can't communicate or, walk or anything like that. So he lived in a group home for a majority of his life. He now lives with his mother, because we're half siblings, technically.
Okay.
But, hey, sibling's a sibling, baby.
That's funny.
So,
I have 7 siblings, too, and a lot of them are half or step.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I consider them all, a sibling's a sibling, for the most part.
I mean, I've really got 8 because I'm counting you. Oh. All right.
Then I have 7 now, too, because technically there's 7 of us all together.
All right.
So, anyways, Dustin, that's his name, has this, since he can't speak, whenever he's enjoying something, like whether it be TV or movies or what he's doing, he does what kind of sounds like a laugh, right? And other people that, typically are special needs, that's kind of how they communicate. So we're in the movie, and I went with my buddy Kyle, who I work with. He brought his girlfriend, so we're in 3 seats, kind of up close to the front. Yes. And then there's an open seat to my right, and then there's a family. It looks like it's like a girl in high school. I assume it was her boyfriend because they were holding hands, unless they were from Alabama. And in that case, maybe they were brother and sister. I'm not sure.
You never know.
And then
Alabama, they go to Denver to go to the movies all the time. This happens. Yeah.
It happens. So it was his family, right? So now where my row of seats are, it's right, when you go into a theater and you have the main walkway, and then you have the seats that go up and then the seats that go down. So you have that middle portion that's for walking. So that's where all the handicap parking is, right? Handicap parking. Handicap seating.
Well, you do park there.
Because this guy was in a wheelchair.
Yep.
So this group of special needs kids came in. They looked like they were probably teenagers.
Great.
3 people in wheelchairs, and they had Deadpool merch on. You could tell, when we walked in, oh, dude, they were so excited. So the movie starts going, and one of the kids starts laughing at everything on screen.
Very loud, having a great time, enjoying
Not
themselves.
even that loud. Honestly, he wasn't even that loud. But as somebody who obviously grew up with that, I went to the movie theaters with my brother.
Yeah.
So, doesn't bother me. And also, who cares? It's, for one, before I even get where the story's going, for one, a movie theater, you roll in the dice, right? The average moviegoer, no matter what, you're probably going to end up with somebody that's rude, obnoxious, talking on their phone, laughing too loud. You're rolling the dice in a public setting, right?
Yeah.
You're not guaranteed to have a perfect movie-going experience if you go out in public, especially on opening night, which last night technically was opening night.
Okay.
So the girl 2 seats down to me, about
in the family,
30 minutes.
The Alabamians.
The Alabamians.
All right.
About 30 minutes into the movie, and you've seen Deadpool, so this isn't a spoiler, but there's kind of an emotional moment where Deadpool and Wolverine meet up at the TVA for the first time, and like, you know, it's right after he finds out about like I'm trying not to spoil anything yet because I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah, dude? What? All right, so something happens and
something that's not funny.
Okay,
and it's like dead quiet, and the kid does his little. It's basically a tick, is what essentially it boils down to. He does a little laugh, and the girl gets up a little bit out of her seat and like turns and huffs and looks at her boyfriend, brother, or whatever, and like loud enough that people can hear it. Goes, I don't understand why this person's laughing. This is so rude and obnoxious. Dude, I'm telling you, without like skipping a beat, I turned to her and I was like, "Hey, fuckface. He's special needs."
Yeah.
And then I just went back to viewing the movie.
Yeah.
I was so... Because she kept getting... Like, for one, they didn't say anything back to me, but the entire movie, she kept making comments about it.
Yeah.
And I just felt so bad because even the guy I was with, Kyle, and his girlfriend were, like, starting to kind of, like, lean over their chairs and, like, stare at her. Because, for one, now you're... like obstructing the movie.
You're the problem.
You're more of the problem than him because guess what?
He's just
nobody
having a
else
good time.
In this completely full theater almost. Nobody else cared,
dude,
except for you.
Okay, so straight up, first off, thank you for your service. That was a budding Karen.
Thank you for your service.
That was a budding Karen, and they need to be put in check early on, so they get used to that for the future because the future's not going to be kind to Karens from Alabama. Like, we're just not. We don't have patience for them. Get up, get a refund for your ticket. Sorry that you went to the movie that has people with special needs in it, but that's not our problem. You're the one with the problem. Like, okay, I actually have a similar story. I went to the first Deadpool movie and was sat in the same row as a kid with special needs who was doing the same exact thing. And he showed up with his dad, and he had a Deadpool mask on. And I did not give it. It actually elevated my experience that someone was more excited than I was. You know?
Yeah. Dude, I was so happy for like during some of the moments that were like, we're going to talk about Deadpool obviously, but like during some of the moments that were like really, really cool, he got really loud. And like other people were getting loud too, but like, I don't know, like, I haven't seen my brother in a couple years because he lives in Indiana and it's hard to get up there. So, like, it just was like, I was just like, it's so nice to see somebody, like, just enjoying something. And, like, yeah, maybe the way that he enjoys it could, quote unquote, ruin the experience for other people. But at the same time, like, who fucking cares?
The people who are allowing things to be ruined for them the most are Karens, and they make it everybody else's problem. And you, sir, performed a service this week. I salute you. And I'm sure the people from the group home do too.
So let's do some saluting intro music.
I'm going to salute you like this, real hard.
Right here.
Right here. All right. Let's kick it off with my Deadpool slurping mug.
I got a Celsius, so... It's not as loud as you think it is.
All right. You ready to clap?
Are you ready to record?
I'll kill you. It's 8 minutes and 50 seconds.
3, 2, 1.
On time, every time. Welcome back to another episode of the Unpop Podcast that wasn't funny. My name is Kevin Miner, El Capitan, todo el siempre, he, him, still not funny. With me as always is...
Odie Matthews, the rascal and chef, cooking up content. Self-proclaimed rascal, baby.
Yeah, you're a rat skull. You're a ratatouille rat skull.
Love
rat
ratatouille.
Cool. This week was phenomenal. Let's do some news real quick. News segment. I'm gonna find a news like a not a
I got
like
some
an
news
ESPN
for you.
thing. What?
Steve Buscemi is going to be voicing Starscream in that Transformers 1 animated movie.
That's amazing, actually. I kind of love that.
I kind of love that, too.
Yeah, because it's not like he has to sound like Steve Buscemi, and they put a fucking filter on everybody's voice anyway. It doesn't matter who you could have Gilbert Gottfried voice one of them. It doesn't matter. It would actually that is Starscream. That sounds like Starscream. I don't know what you...
I could be Starscream.
I can't tell the difference. But yeah, honestly, I actually think it would be really cool to do like an animated movie and then only cast people who have like noticeably abrasive voices for it. You know, like
that'd be incredible.
Like, coming this summer, the new G.I. Joe movie starring Steve Buscemi, Gilbert Gottfried, Cardi B, like just fucking like just fucking every people. A lot of people would not be able to handle it. I feel like this would be a good like test of willpower. It would almost be like it would almost be a hate watch. You know, you'd be like, I fucking hate the voice acting in this, but I can't look away. I
would watch the shit out of that.
Just do a compelling story. You know, it's like the Transformers and Ninja Turtles are crossing over.
I would love to see that. Personally,
with Jim Gaffigan, like I don't know, guys. Bill Burr, like just fucking nothing but abrasive voice. Jack Black coming at like just fucking everybody throwing it down. Owen Wilson, come on, guys, we gotta
wow,
guys.
It's the Autobots. Wow,
transform.
What are we doing right now?
I don't know. You've unleashed my ADD this morning.
What's your
Steve
news?
Buscemi comment. Snoop Dogg carried the my comment is that the Paris Olympics opening ceremonies is the only one. It's the coolest opening ceremonies ever. I don't give a shit what anybody says. It's the coolest. That's objective. That's a fact. Okay. They had everything from classical music and opera and fucking Celine Dion closing the entire thing out.
Oh yeah, she made a comeback.
Yeah, to like Afrobeat and fucking Gojira, the metal band, playing metal music during the opening ceremonies. It was absolutely phenomenal. I cannot get over how awesome that was. Viva la fucking France, baby.
My director of HR is there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he flew out for it because he worked for like Marriott or something, so he gets free hotels. So he's over there right now for the opening ceremony. Hot take, unpopular opinion, I don't fucking care about the Olympics at fucking all.
Oh, I love
will
the
not watch
Olympics.
it. I do not care. It does not mean anything to me. It means nothing. I don't care.
I love Olympics. It's the top like 1% of each country just doing their fucking thing. I love it. I love seeing people who have dedicated so much of their time and effort. Like if there were the podcast Olympics, you would care. That would suck so bad.
No, because Joe Rogan would be there and I wouldn't care.
Joe Rogan would be there commenting. Like Joe Rogan wouldn't even be in it. He would be like a commentator, right? Like
now.
That's what he would be. He would be like, "Here we are at the Olympics. Listen, you got to dedicate yourself to the process. You got to give up your life for the process." This is what it's about, being a man. Let me tell you, I was eating some raw meat and grappling a guy the other night.
And doing my cold plunge.
I was doing my cold plunge, eating raw meat, grappling a guy, same time.
Yeah, it's like all at once.
All at once. Meat in my mouth.
We weren't naked, though.
Meat in my mouth, meat in my hands. Just
but not like that.
Going to town. But not like that. Even if it was, it's super manly.
Yeah,
it's only more manly because there's two men. You get it? Do you get it? Anyway.
Oh fuck.
Look, if you're a podcaster, you either die funny or live long enough to see yourself just become the joke. Like that's it.
Which we will definitely get to that one.
We're gonna fail as a brand. That's what we're gonna do. We're burning.
Well, actually, we're succeeding.
A shooting star.
No, we're succeeding because we're in the hole.
The more you know. That's us screaming across the sky.
So we're good though. Because we're following our business model.
Yes, that is our business model. Yes, we're
Speaking
succeeding by failing as a brand. Anyway, I wanted to mention one more thing about the Paris Olympics. Snoop Dogg got to carry the torch. I don't know if you saw this, but that was fucking amazing. Snoop Dogg was learning judo the other day and carrying the Olympic torch, and I want to update the American dream. It's whatever arc Snoop Dogg is on. It's not 2 kids, a house with a picket fence, and a little bit of property. No, it's that. Whatever he's doing, that's my American dream. Is like I'd like to eventually be just messing around with an international team and carrying the Olympic torch, probably high, having a great time, right?
Absolutely,
going on talk shows, talking to people about the food that they're making, hanging out with some wholesome people at least wholesome TV personalities, right? I want to do what Snoop Dogg's doing. That's where I want to be in like 20 years.
Did you ever see his vampire movie with Jamie Foxx and Dave Franco?
Absolutely not.
Okay, yeah, you didn't miss anything. There's one great scene where he just walks in with a minigun and he just like with a blunt in his mouth just like machine guns a bunch of vampires. It's great. It's like
That's
the best
because
scene.
people literally
He's just having a great time.
People write the character Snoop Dogg into their films. They're like, and maybe we'll get Snoop Dogg for this. If not, it'll still be a cool black dude with a blunt and a minigun. Like,
yeah,
they're like,
awesome.
we'll try for Snoop Dogg, and then Snoop Dogg's usually like, for shizzle my nizzle, I'll do it. Like, come on, he's the best. I fucking love Snoop Dogg.
I do love Snoop Dogg.
Absolutely. Do you remember his show, The Doghouse?
I remember, but I never watched it.
It was a sketch fucking comedy show.
Yeah.
He didn't all he had to do was show up and be himself and be silly and dumb, and it was great. I absolutely loved it. I love Snoop Dogg. Anyway, that's the news. Let's get
Do you know what I love?
What?
Star Wars.
Yes.
I was trying to do a segue.
Oh, no, that's good. Yeah, no, that was good. Your segue was interrupting me. Good fucking job,
yes.
Odie.
Yes. You're welcome.
I'll just sit here and sip my Deadpool cup.
I'm saving the podcast.
All right, I'm going to be done doing that. I just sent some water down the wrong tube. Okay.
So we're gonna.
What do you love about Star Wars?
I love the show that everybody else seems to hate called The Acolyte.
What?
I loved the show that everyone seems to hate called The Acolyte.
Yeah, I did not like it. I don't hate it, but I didn't like it. Hit me with what you liked about it. I'll add in what I liked about it. Let's try to keep it positive and short. I know you want to do a deep dive on Star Wars.
I do.
At a later date. Okay.
I really want to do, because I did a deep dive. What was that, like first season? I did a deep dive of basically the start of the Star Wars universe up until Palpatine. However, we did skip over quite a bit of the High Republic era, and since this show confirms some stuff, I would like to kind of talk. I want to call it a deep dive, but it's going to be more of like, here's everything that we know about the High Republic and how it's affected everything that we already knew about episodes 1 through 9.
Yeah.
So with that,
oh my God.
Full spoilers for The Acolyte, because I mean the show's old at this point. Like, I'm behind on watching it, so if you haven't seen it yet, you're probably not going to.
Okay. I mean, it's probably going to get a season 2.
I hope so.
It generated enough controversy. Hit me.
It should. Okay. Here's what I loved about The Acolyte.
Okay.
I love that it makes the Jedi look stupid.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is a very crucial point of the High Republic era into the New Republic era. So about 500 years before the Battle of Yavin up until episode 1 is roughly like this time period. High Republic technically ends. Actually, the show would be coming up towards the end of the High Republic, as it's kind of hinted at. So the New Republic hasn't been around for that long.
Right now?
No, I'm just setting the stage. I'm just setting the stage. Just trying.
Okay.
I can't not look. It's talking about Star Wars. It's gonna be hard for me not to be like, yeah, this person. And did you know that this person actually did this and this? Because like,
keep it brief, baby. Come on.
Okay. I love that the Jedi look stupid. I loved that Sol, who is the guy from Squid Games, who's the main Jedi.
He was great.
I love
Squid
that
Game, by the way. There's no S on the end of that.
There's not? I thought it was Squid Games.
Squid Game.
Squid Game. Huh. Squid's Game.
It's not games with squids. Squid
okay,
Game.
Fine. My bad. The guy from Squid's Game.
Who's Squid? What's his game?
I don't know.
We'll find out.
Isn't he Squid?
All right.
No. I love that he is kind of like, he's stupid in a way that like makes sense. Like, he doesn't follow, like, he's like Qui-Gon, where he's like, I don't believe everything the Jedi do. Like,
yeah.
The big thing about Jedis is not giving into emotions, not giving into feeling, but like, he did, and because he did, all of this stuff happened.
He fucked up.
And yeah, I like the Stranger.
He really is just Qui-Gon.
I think that this show did a really good job of, and I think this is where people maybe got upset with it. This show was pitched and sold as from the Sith perspective. It's a show focusing on the villains, not the heroes.
But it's not.
And I think it did a good job of balancing it. Personally, I really liked The Stranger. I really loved episodes 4 and 5. The Jedi Massacre was, I just like, I don't know, like, it just, there's something about the Jedi Massacre and like these characters like getting killed off and you're like, holy shit, didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
Was really good. I love that they introduced the fact that these witch coven did create life from the Force. It just was one person split into two bodies, which kind of leads into Anakin's creation and the controversy around him.
Okay.
I really enjoyed the Darth Plagueis little cameo at the end. I think that is fucking perfect. It fits so well, though. Personally, again. I thought the acting could have been a little bit better, but overall, I was really happy with Soul's performance. I guess especially because, and maybe his performance isn't the best, but taking into consideration that this man learned English just to play this role, pretty good.
Okay.
I like that the Venestra Jedi, the green one that was bald with the lightsaber whip.
Okay.
I like that she's awful, and this is all her fault.
Yeah.
I like that she is actually, sorry, a little bit of lore here, but she's actually the Padawan of a Jedi during the High Republic era that was really important. So she saw the fall of the Starlight Beacon, which is, we'll get into that later in the deep dive.
Nobody knows what you're talking about right now. Save it for the deep dive. Why are you getting into the Starlight Beacon?
Little sizzle.
I said keep it brief.
Okay, fine, I'm done.
Is that it?
I guess.
What else
I have
do you
so
like?
much.
Well, if everything that you like is stuff for the deep dive that requires explanation,
I'm gonna have to stop.
Yeah, because like you're just doing the deep dive. You're like,
my brain just started going.
Okay.
Couldn't stop.
Okay.
What did you like?
I liked some of the fights. I'm gonna use my classic catchphrase at this point. Should have been an anime. The show was good. I think honestly everybody doing acting in this would have been just as good voice acting. Like, because honestly the story itself is kind of fucking lame. I feel like I would have appreciated it more if it was a little better done. I feel like here's what I liked. Okay. I'm trying to remember the things that I liked. I liked the guy who was just meditating in the force field. He's cool. Like him.
The Barstock Vow.
Yep. He was great.
Do you know what that vow is?
Nope. Hold on. That's for the deep dive. I'm telling you what I liked, and I'm keeping it brief. I liked the lightsaber battles. I liked that it showed how nascent some of these Jedi were, that they got totally owned in a lightsaber battle. I did like the Witch Coven, but I liked the concept of it and nothing else, because the execution on this show was absolutely fucking incredibly horrible. I found myself at multiple points, and I really, Odie, I'm going to let you know. I watched this out of love. I watched this for you. This was, I would, in any other world where you and I are not hosting a podcast together and I don't care so much about you as a friend, I would not watch the show. I would have stopped at episode 2. Like, it was not.
Okay.
Yeah, it was not, like, straight up, everybody knows the fucking mystery as soon as the show starts. So, like, I think that's the first big justifiable complaint is, like, they're doing the thing where they're like, it's a mystery. And it's like, it's not a fucking mystery. It's that guy right there. We know who it is. You've telegraphed it. And if there's a good bait and switch, maybe I'll appreciate this more. Oh, it's not a bait and switch? Okay, sorry. Not good. And then they're like, everything in this story directly relates to miscommunication. If people had just said what they were thinking or feeling, then maybe it would have been fine. I'm like, this is fucking dumb. Your whole plot point is that people can't communicate properly. Got it. Great. And then, like anytime they need something, like, conveniently all the witches have died. Like, just fucking... It felt like the writing in this is just like, they were like, well, why? Like, it felt like somebody was in the room going, hey, why does that happen? And then they go, well, because it needs to. And it's like, but why? Like, what's the real, like, why? What's the cause and effect? What's the deeper underlying motif here? Like, what are we really getting out of this? I feel falls on its face. But something that I did appreciate, and I made sure to look up her age before I said this, Amanda Stenberg is officially like the most attractive Jedi in my mind ever.
Which one was she?
/ Sith. The main character. I was like, damn.
Oh, Osha and May?
Osha and May. I was like, damn. Okay. I think the acting was actually really, really good on the show. I think the only reason I could get through it is because there were moments that I appreciated the actors themselves. It also helps that I think, like, I was like, damn, Osha, this is a thick Jedi and she looks hot. Like, I enjoyed that. And that's just like the tiniest part of that, but I thought she was actually a really good actress. I liked her playing the two different parts. I like that sometimes they're similar, sometimes they're vastly different. I really don't like how any of the characters were handled in this. I feel like this show, like with everything that happens over the course of 8 episodes, it could have been 5 or 4 even, because there's so much fucking like drudging through like, here's a character and maybe we'll make you care about them a little bit with 5 minutes of stupid dialogue, but the dialogue does nothing for me. There's no action that makes these characters redeemable or lovable. Like even in the end, like at the end, like we'll get into it in your deep dive, but like I was just like, I'm watching the pinnacle scene and I'm like, I'm really not invested in half of the people in this scene. Like I just don't care.
Interesting.
Yeah, I just kind of don't care. Like
okay,
I'm like,
so I have one...
you're dumb, you're triple dumb. Like and like the thing that you said it twice, and I do want to highlight this. You're like, I like that the Jedi are stupid. Soul's kind of stupid. I found myself watching the show going, you're stupid. You're supposed to have dedicated your entire life to figuring shit the fuck out, and like you can't. And like, yeah, and the green lady, what was her name?
I think her Vanestra.
She annoys me the most. She's so dumb, and everything she does is so dumb. And like, I'm like, this is, and then at the end, she's like, and here's my report on what happened on this planet that nobody else was conveniently on, and I know that none of you are gonna look into this.
Yeah, because they wouldn't.
And
but
then,
see, here's the thing. Okay.
And then Star Wars. No, one last thing. Star Wars has been fucking up for forever too, and I'm glad you mentioned this. Like, you're like, I like the Plagueis cameo. Plagueis only is a cameo. Plagueis isn't a main character in any of these. Like, they're like, oh, it's fucking Darth Plagueis. Like, they're painting this giant. He hasn't done shit actively in my mind. Like, visually, I haven't seen him do shit. I'm just like, I don't care about Darth Plagueis. Get him the fuck out of here. Invent a new character and make him actually do some cool shit. At least, like, the kind of Sith guy, Jason from The Good Place.
The Good Place.
Yeah, that's all I can call him.
That's what I kept calling him on
what's
screen.
What's his fucking name in the show?
Manny Jacinto is the actor.
Manny Jacinto's awesome.
He's incredible.
He's great.
Man crush Monday every day.
And then at the end, they were like, well, this show hasn't been doing well. I guess we'll show the back of a Yoda, because that'll get everybody back in.
Okay, the Yoda one.
Get the fuck out of here, Star Wars. Star Wars sucks at engaging its fan base. And, like, I think the people who hate this show for unjustified reasons they're only adding to my lack of desire to engage in Star Wars in any sort of a deeper fashion. But, like, also, like, once again, like, they've just forgone, like, the science fiction aspect of this, and they're leaning more into, like, space magic samurai. Like, it's like, they're space magic warriors. It's just like, you've just become, like, a superhero franchise at this point. That's it.
Hang on, though.
There's fires in space, and like,
there's always been fires in space. The Death Star blew up with a sound.
I know, but
like,
that's so
that
dumb.
criticism.
It's so
but
dumb.
Star Wars has always been dumb like that.
But they could be adjusting it and making it better, and like they're not.
But okay, there's 2 points. I have 2 quick little points, and it's not a rebuttal. It's just 2 points.
Even if it is, I don't think it'll change my opinion.
I don't want to change your opinion. Like, for one, I will not try to change anybody's opinion when it comes to Star Wars. I've said this before. I will say this on air, on the record.
Yeah.
Look, I think as somebody who just loves everything about Star Wars, I know a lot about the lore. I can see how these things connect, and I can see a little bit more of a thread. And for me, it's worth it, but I can totally understand, and you are totally valid. Like, being upset that Darth Plagueis just shows up and does nothing. Yeah, I can totally see how that upsets you. But for me, I'm like, oh shit, this is good. But anyways, that's beside the point. We'll get more. I'll explain that in the deep dive. But the one thing I want to say about this that I think really just perfectly summarizes this era of Star Wars, the High Republic era, is the Jedi would literally just go to planets, and if your kid was even a little Force sensitive, they were stealing your kid and training them to be a monk with a sword. And and they were never allowed to see their parents again. They were at a young age. I think it's like 4. I think 4 is when they usually take kids. They're taught at 4, don't have emotion, don't have connection, don't be upset, do what we say, and you'll have a good life. That's insane. And that's what makes the Jedi awful, is that they went to a planet that wasn't in their jurisdiction to steal kids from a witch coven that they didn't like because the witch coven wasn't doing what they thought they should do, and they fucked everything up and then tried to cover it up. And then when it came back to bite them, another Jedi covered it up because they can't have the Jedi looking bad. So I think that side of it, for me personally, I liked. But I do agree that there are some parts of this show then I'm like, okay, what are we doing here? Like, the bait and twist, I think it would have been better if the stranger had been one of the witches from the Coven. That would have been cool.
I'm not going to get into would-haves. Yeah. There's so much that would have been cool. Here's another thing that you just brought up to my mind. The Jedi are supposed to be like these like masters of the Force, masters of their own emotion, like really like just Zen-like. And I feel like the more Star Wars tries to like retcon the Jedi, the more they just ruin them. Because it's like, oh, we're going to train all these kids to not have emotion. What's our critical downfall? Shame. The emotion of shame. That's our critical downfall while we're training everybody to not have. I feel like it was so much better when they were like vague. Like, when it was vague, it was like, okay, yeah, being a Jedi is kind of like a thing. But the more they try to justify it, and then on the show, they're like, M count and all that. There's so many. Yeah, we'll get into it in the deep dive. Let's, because there's better shit to talk about. And, like, yeah. And this show, like, it could have been better. And I found myself, even in the last episode, going, this is dumb. like that was kind of like what I kept saying during the show. I'm like every other to every third scene just being kind of like, this is dumb. And then also, they really did not use the talent that they brought into that show the way that they should have. Like, they were
Daphne
like,
Keane.
Here's all of these amazing actors that aren't going to do fucking shit for you.
I was really upset that Daphne Keane was gone by episode 5. Because she's
so
awesome.
Dumb. Yeah.
I
think
great.
A show that did a better job of being a prequel and, like, making it rewarding for people who are new to the franchise, but then also doing nods to the old franchise, which was fucking huge. No, not, well, Andor too, but, like, House of the Dragon. We have an example right here of a show that's like, it's like, hey, if you don't know shit about Game of Thrones, you can watch this. If you know everything about Game of Thrones,
I agree
you're
with
gonna
that.
love watching this. Like,
because I'm enjoying House of the Dragon, and I know nothing about Game of Thrones except for everybody died at a wedding.
And you don't need to. And that's, I feel like with a show like The Acolyte, they're like, it's like, all right, cool, maybe who is this for? Is this for new Star Wars fans, or is this for the classic fans? Is this for people who have read every single fucking book, or is this for people who are just brand new to the franchise that might like Amanda Stenberg? Like, what's going on here? Who are you serving? Like, what was this for? And then the big thing that really just gets me is the end. Actually, I was mad. I was like, oh, yeah, you're running out of runway with your plot points, so we tease a Yoda. It feels like anytime Star Wars, like, runs out of quote, they're like, and then there's a Yoda around, so you guys are bought back in, right? And it's like, fuck
the
off,
Yoda
Star
one
Wars.
Yoda was the
so
biggest
bad.
letdown.
It's
like,
so bad.
Out of everybody
Also, why is he that old? Already,
well,
in
because
that.
he's 900 years old when we meet him in episode 1.
Fucking dumb.
So he'd be 800 years old when this happened.
So dumb.
But okay, I don't disagree with you on a lot of those points. And again, like, I'm able to sit here and say, like, I think a lot of the criticisms are valid. The criticisms that I don't think are valid are the Star Wars incels that are like, oh, why is a woman the main character? Oh, why is so woke?
That's
why is
Star Wars
this?
incels.
Okay.
Those are just incels.
And, like, the people that are like, oh, but there's a fire in space. Look, I get that that's a very valid, if you want to be realistic
that was
about
the
a criticism.
dumbest thing.
But,
that was
however,
so dumb.
Every Star Wars ship has flames out the back.
Care.
The Death Star explodes with sound.
No, they have light coming out of the back. Visible light is different than flames. Okay?
There are engines that literally spit out flames in the Star Wars universe. The Death Star explodes with sound. There are sound in space. There's fire in space.
Okay, hold on. There's no smoke from the flames, though. They are being... Okay, look...
Either way,
I don't care what the rebuttal is to it. We've all grown up. We're smarter now. So yes, in the 70s and 80s, you can have explosions and fires in space. But welcome to 2020. We're 50 years later. We know more now. Write better
well, then
quality
Rebel Moon
shit.
needs to take that too, because there's sound and
Rebel
fire
Moon
in Rebel Moon.
Well,
the best movie ever.
Oh, are you comparing The Acolyte to Rebel Moon now? Is this where we've come? Let's move on.
Let's move on. I like The Acolyte. I think it's a solid 7 out of 10.
I like Amanda Stenberg.
I like
I hope
Manny
she
DeCento.
gets more screen time.
I hope he gets more screen time. I love that man, dude.
Also, the holding the hands thing, I was like, okay, that's kind of cool and taboo and different. That was nice.
Thank God they didn't kiss.
Oh, thank God. Anyway. All right, on
Deadpool.
to good things that we both saw, and you saw twice, and it was very good. And you know what? Fuck it. We're not gonna. How great was this movie on a scale of on a scale of Ryan Reynolds as the Green Lantern to Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool in Deadpool 3.
Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool and Deadpool 3.
Because it's that fucking good. Okay, full spoilers for Deadpool. Full stop.
Full
I'm not. Yeah, we're jumping right. I don't care.
All right.
We're jumping
it's
right
hard
into
not
this.
to spoil it.
Well,
anyways.
yeah, exactly. So full spoilers here.
Got some spoilers for you.
Okay, that movie was fucking phenomenal. Seriously, I ate a Deadpool-themed pizza last night because it was so good. I was just like, I need to relive this experience somehow by eating this pizza. I know you didn't hate it, and you can try to do this bit.
I did hate it.
No,
it's
you
just
didn't.
nothing but
you saw
cameos,
it twice. You loved
bad
it.
writing.
Oh my
it breaks
God.
the fourth wall.
It was great writing.
Why is
what
Hugh
are you talking
Jackman
about?
back as Wolverine?
Why are we
He
arguing
died.
about this?
Why did he die?
Why are you pretending to argue about this? You loved this. You loved this movie.
did.
You loved
I did.
everything about it. Stop it.
I think. Okay, here's
Stop
my
this
hot
facade.
Take. Here's my hot take right off the rip.
Hit me.
Ready? I think that the Deadpool trilogy is one of the best trilogies Marvel has done.
I agree. This is probably in like one of my top. I would say top 5 Marvel movies.
I think
this made it.
I think Captain America has a really, really good trilogy.
Yep.
I think Deadpool has a good trilogy.
Yep.
I think. Yeah, that's like honestly
That's it.
the only 2 that come to mind.
That's it.
The Blade trilogy. No, just kidding.
No, hold on. The Blade trilogy is actually good. Okay, straight up.
When was the last time you watched Blade 3?
Let's go through this movie. All right, what's the plot of this movie? Odie, hit us with the general plot of Deadpool 3, Deadpool and Wolverine.
So I really like the way they set it up. Basically, Deadpool after the events of Deadpool 2, and he uses the time device to bring all his friends back.
Yeah.
He starts to have some relationship issues because he's a killer. He's kind of been on this vengeance path with Cable and Deadpool 1. Turns out he wanted to be an Avenger. So in one of the only cameos that I wasn't like, holy shit, you're in this movie.
Yeah.
Happy fucking Hogan
That was amazing.
shows up. And like
Jon Favreau.
Just a quick pause.
Our boy.
Most of these cameos that show up in this movie, I was like, oh, so you're actually in this. But none of them made me go, holy fuck, you're in this, as Happy Hogan did. That one was the only one that I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
I was genuinely surprised.
Yeah.
But Deadpool goes to the main timeline, Earth 616, wants to be an Avenger, can't be an Avenger. 6 years go by, he's back in his world, which is Earth 10005. I think is
Whatever,
what it
doesn't
was.
matter.
Doesn't matter. He's a used car salesman with his buddy Peter, who I love, played by Rob Delaney from the second one. I just love that he's in it.
He's so good. Peter's amazing.
He's the best. I want to spin off of him. He's the best.
He's the best.
And him and Vanessa have broken up. He lives in a 1-bedroom apartment with weird Blind Al. Almost said Weird Al.
Blind Al. She is weird.
And
Weird Blind
basically,
Al.
he's no longer Deadpool. He's kind of living a mundane life. He wants to matter. And then all of a sudden, the TVA shows up and goes, hey, do you want to matter? But it turns out the way they want to make him matter is by plopping him in the main timeline, but also by doing so, they're going to destroy his universe.
Yes.
He doesn't like that very much.
Nope.
So he goes on an adventure to...
but why are they going to destroy his?
Because the anchor being has passed away, which is
Wolverine.
Logan, which
is a joke in itself. Like the fact that they were like, Hugh Jackman is the center of the Marvel universe.
Well, the Fox one.
Phenomenal.
He's supposed to be the center of the Fox universe.
Exactly. And they're like, he's gone. He's dead. So you can't
Fox is
anymore. Dead. Yeah.
Dude,
no,
okay.
so the meta commentary of this movie is phenomenal. Right off the rip. I love that, like...
Suck it, Fox. I'm going to Disneyland.
Dude, yeah. Suck it, Fox. I'm going to Disneyland was amazing. The Disney's never gone this far before. Like, all of the commentary about the actual, like, industry that is the superhero films was amazing. Like,
yes.
Like, everything's hit. And the thing that I loved the most about going to see this movie it was Thursday night, not Wednesday. I had my dates mixed up. But Thursday night, we go to see this movie. I miss being in a theater full of fucking nerds and having everyone cheer when people show up on screen. Like, that is such an amazing experience to just have these people who have been playing these roles for like 5, 10, 15 years up to, right? And like they show up, like Chris Evans literally just pulled
Johnny
the hood.
Storm.
We knew who it was. Yeah, but like he just pulled the hood and everybody cheered. It didn't matter. Even the people who knew it was Johnny Storm were like laughing and cheering at the same time. It was like, he's fucking in it. And then like, okay, so straight up, right off the rip, he's like, I'm gonna go dig up Wolverine. He's not actually dead, and then he fucking digs up a corpse. I was like,
and he's
yes.
Dead.
And then he's like, time to desecrate. Like, that was amazing.
The opening line of this movie is literally, I know what you're wondering. How are we gonna do this without tarnishing the Logan's reputation? We're not.
Yes, 100%. Like,
but here's the thing.
That sets the expectation, and then it just delivers.
And what I think is interesting about that is that means that Deadpool's universe is the same universe as Logan.
Yeah.
But the future we saw in Logan doesn't exist.
Yes.
You're not supposed to think about it too hard, obviously.
Well, it's because the future that we saw was a future that existed right after he died. But like, yeah. I mean, well, and then, X-23 is in the fucking trash heap. So like there's
yeah.
and
how did she get there?
How does she get there? It's a Deadpool movie. That's how she got there. Yeah.
Don't think about it.
The thing that I like about a Deadpool movie is it's insular. Like,
yeah.
This movie ends, and it's like, all right, cool, and there's no greater complications for the rest of the Marvel Universe. And then everybody stayed for the final little, like, post-credit, and he even goes, gotcha. Like, he was like, gotcha, sucker.
I didn't stay for it because I knew what it was. I Googled it. When the credits started, I Googled.
But it was good.
What is the Deadpool 3? I don't want to see that.
It was worth it, honestly.
I'll watch it on streaming. I'll watch the YouTube clip when it comes out of somebody's iPhone recording.
Yeah, it was totally worth it. It was so good. There's like everything about this movie through and through. Absolutely phenomenal. I went with a group of like 20 people. Like
Jesus.
Well, Stephanie and Shane have like a whole group of people that they go see Marvel movies with, and I got one of their numbers and was like, I need to be invited to all of these because you guys are great. Like, we were already having a great time. And then here's what I love about my group of people. Somebody walked up to me and they're like, do you want to take half a gummy before this? I was like, abso-fucking-lutely. Like, you guys are awesome. Like, I'm having a great time. And then I'm standing in line. I'm like, oh, they got me again. Time to get another commemorative cup from the theater experience this year. But then I'm just sitting in the theater with a giant fucking... Actually, hold on.
You have the popcorn bucket, too?
I got the fucking popcorn
bucket. Oh, my
God. Not only that, let me show you how much popcorn I ate. Almost none. I ate almost none popcorn.
Of it. Oh, my God. Okay, real quick. The one moment in this movie, and I know I'm gonna jump around a little bit because why not? But the one moment, the one character that showed up that I heard was gonna be in this, but again, it was one of those like, oh, if he's in this is gonna be great, but if he's not, whatever. Mm-hmm. But when Channing Tatum as Gambit,
oh my God,
walked in, and here's
good.
the thing. So real quick, for those of you that don't know, back when Fox was still doing X-Men movies, there was supposed to be a Gambit solo movie. Channing Tatum was cast. The guy that's directed, doesn't matter. Anyways, he was supposed to be Gambit. That movie never happened. So when he's talking to Gambit in this movie and he's like, I don't know, maybe I was born here. Dude, spot on because he never got his movie. So the fact that Gambit's character is just like exists only in the void because he never got his own movie and the fact that they played into that, I loved it.
So fucking good.
I loved the X-Men cartoon growing up, and one of my favorite X-Men was Gambit. I loved Gambit.
Same.
So to put Channing Tatum in the MCU as Gambit, please and thank you. That was fucking awesome. And to see Wesley Snipes as Blade.
Oh my God.
And his line, there's only been one Blade. There's only ever going to be one Blade. At this point, he's kind of right.
That was so good. That was such a good joke.
The Daredevil Elektra joke. So sorry about Daredevil. Nah, that's her ex. That's Ben Affleck's ex. It's amazing.
Fucking Ben Affleck.
And then Daphne Keane showing up was incredible. I loved seeing old Sabretooth, old Toad, seeing Pyro from the old X-Men movies.
Yep.
I loved... if you didn't see it in the background, there's another Blade from the Blade TV show that's in this. Lady Deathstrike from X-Men 3 is in the background.
So
Azazel from First Class is in this. Like, holy shit. And the guy that plays Juggernaut, funny enough, did you ever see the movie Free Guy with Ryan Reynolds, directed by Sean Levy?
Yeah.
It's the guy that is the body of the dude that has Ryan Reynolds' face, the really jacked version.
Oh, that's funny.
That's him. So... Ryan Reynolds put him in this as like an actual. I thought that was cool.
I like that.
I liked the way they handled the Wolverine that they got. I like that he let his whole world down because he killed a bunch of humans and made the humans hate the X-Men.
Yep.
That was interesting. I really enjoy. These are just like rapid fire thoughts.
Hit me.
I enjoyed the Johnny Storm cameo.
Oh my God. That was the best part of the entire fucking movie.
My favorite part of the movie, in terms of action, was, for one, I don't like Madonna, but man, Like a Prayer's always been a banger of a song.
That was such a good. Oh my God.
When they walk out from behind the donut cart and then he puts on the Wolverine mask.
Oh yeah.
But then all the Deadpool variants fight them. And I thought that was really good because, for one, Matthew McConaughey is the voice of the Western Deadpool.
Yes.
His friend in real life.
Yep.
Nathan Fillion is Headpool. Blake Lively is Lady Deadpool. And I'm pretty sure that's Ryan Reynolds' kid playing Kid Deadpool.
I love that.
I loved all of it. And I loved that the way that they got around the Deadpools was Peter shows up and all the Deadpools are just like, Peter.
They're like, oh my God, Peter, he's a legend. Every Deadpool has a Peter. So good. Yeah.
So
no,
good.
absolutely phenomenal. Soundtrack.
Soundtrack.
Yep. Banger. Like,
in my mind.
nothing but hits. Absolutely phenomenal. Bye in the beginning. A little in sync.
my. And his dance.
So good.
Look.
Ryan Reynolds knows what we want.
He is amazing.
As an audience, he knows what we want.
Oh, Nice Pool.
Nice Pool was absolutely phenomenal. Dude, that was one of my favorite moments of the entire movie. He's like, you can't regenerate. He's like, regenerate? Like, I was like, oh no, buddy.
You're gonna live. Say it with me.
I'm gonna.
His head just explodes.
So good. Absolutely.
Where's your mask?
Dog Pool was phenomenal.
That's a real dog they adopted too.
I know, and I love that dog.
Mary Poppins.
So much. Mary Poppins, thank you.
She's 90% G-spot.
I absolutely love I don't know what they did over his like makeup mask to like get the dog to just kiss him for like minutes at a time.
Nonstop.
But it was just so good just watching that tongue nonstop.
When he's talking and the tongue's like in his mouth. Oh, gross but good.
It was so fucking good. Dude, I haven't had this much of a good time at the movies in a long time.
You know who else has a cameo?
What?
One of the TV. You know when in the very beginning when he uses the Wolverine claws and he stabs one guy in the balls and the other guy in the butt?
Yes.
One of those is Rob McElhenney from It's Always Sunny.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Yep. I
love
recognize
that.
his voice. Yep, because they're friends in real life, obviously.
That's
now,
so fucking funny.
I love that this cameo, the cameos in this. Most of them are
phenomenal.
Just friends of Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, but they're phenomenal.
Yeah,
because,
they're great.
Like, once again, the thing that makes Deadpool movies stand out the way that they do is that they are insular. They don't like you're not watching it going, how's this going to affect the MCU? You know, like and then he makes the joke in the beginning. He's like, I think you'll marvel at how cinematic this universe can be. Like,
I know.
So fucking good.
I'm Marvel Jesus.
Yes, I'm Marvel Jesus was amazing. And then when he's doing the montage to go get the Wolverines, and he goes onto the planet, and Wolverine literally is Marvel Jesus on a planet, like up on an X, like just fucking
That's
so good.
That universe is a Doomsday universe.
Yep.
That is really interesting. I love the comic accurate Wolverine, the one that's really short.
Oh, dude, that was
just
awesome.
a little thing? And then Henry Cavill, the Calverine.
Dude,
that was cool.
Okay. Henry Cavill was probably my favorite. I hooped.
Yes.
I hooped.
I didn't you're right.
At that.
Him and
I was like,
him and Happy Hogan
like,
were the two that got me. When it was Henry Cavill, I was like, no fucking way.
That killed me.
No fucking way.
It was so good, though.
Ugh.
He's like, you look a little bigger. Like, I was like, yeah, he does look bigger. What is going on here? And then it's fucking Henry Cavill. He's like, get out of here. I was like, yes, thank you so much for this.
I loved, with Gambit, who's your dialect coach? The Minions?
Dude, absolutely phenomenal watching Channing Tatum do Remy LeBeau. Like, just
he was good at it though.
Could not have been better. He sometimes you could tell he was just purposefully making it sound garbled. Like he wasn't even leaning into the Cajun accent. He was just like making it gibberish.
Okay.
It was so
one
good.
scene that stood out to me, because like I said, I got to watch this movie twice, so I picked up on a lot of things the second time around. One of the things that I noticed is at the very end of the movie when Deadpool brings Wolverine after they save the day and they defeat Cassandra Nova. Cassandra Nova is Professor X's sister.
Absolutely loved that character too,
villain.
by the way. Phenomenal.
Villain.
So good. All the acting in this was great too. For like a comedy film, like the acting's through the cuz comedy, it's all about the timing and how you balance out tension and emotion with the release, right? Cuz the release is usually a punchline. So like the way that they did that but still created a couple really nice endearing moments was phenomenal. All right, keep going.
I liked when Deadpool brings the dog and Wolverine to meet Blind Al, and he's like describing the dog, you could clearly tell that Hugh Jackman was just laughing. Like that was not like you could just tell he just thought like whatever Ryan Reynolds was saying, he was improvising, and Hugh Jackman was trying so hard not to laugh.
That's the best part about this is you can tell they just had a good time making it. Like, this movie is a good time, and it's like it's one of those things like you know how I say like a movie like if it's fun, it's like a roller coaster ride. I don't need to really watch it again. I will get back in line for this roller coaster. Like this was a good roller coaster. I'm going to get back. I actually contemplated seeing it last night, but then I remembered I still had 2 fucking episodes of The Acolyte to watch. So
you should have seen this again.
No, I was dedicated to my friend Odie. I was dedicated to my friend. I wanted to make sure I watched it because God forbid there was like something in like the last episode that made me turn around on it. But we're leaving that aside until later. Anyway, no, this movie was absolutely phenomenal through and through. I cannot recommend it enough for anybody who loves the Marvel Cinematic Universe, or even like for me, like I haven't watched it. I realized as I was watching this and he was making jokes about the multiverse and stuff, I was like, oh yeah, shit. I haven't really watched a Marvel film since Love and Thunder. Like
I haven't even seen that one. The last one I saw was Doctor Strange 2.
Oh, but then Love and Thunder came out after that, right?
Yeah, okay, I have watched since Endgame. I have watched 2 Marvel movies in theaters: Spider-Man 3 because I love Spider-Man, and Doctor Strange 2. And after Doctor Strange 2, I went, all right, I'm good for a little bit.
I watched Spider-Man, No Way Home, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, I didn't like
Thor:
that
Love and Thunder, which hot take, I actually think it's fun. It's fine.
I might watch that.
It's not
now.
bad. It's fine. It's not great. It's not bad. Like, you want to talk about, I'll back up what I said about the Acolyte. Totally underused Christian Bale in that movie.
Oh, yeah.
Totally. Like, they did not use him to the peak of his ability. I don't know what the fuck Taika Waititi was thinking on that. Like, trying to tackle that story and then not leaning into a more serious. Like, if Taika Waititi could have written that and balanced out the serious and comedy a little more instead of making it just wacky, it would have been infinitely better. Not only that, that one could have been, like, a duo. It could have been a setup where Thor actually loses some shit and then has to battle his way back, right? That could have been great.
Yeah.
Anyway, I also love the Thor we never find out why Thor was crying over Deadpool.
Yeah,
that was absolutely
that one got me too.
I love that we never find out why. Like he's like, why was Thor crying? Like it was
maybe that'll be in the next Avengers movie.
Well, here's the thing. It looked like it was a remake of the scene where Thor is crying over Loki, in the Dark World. And he's like, why was Thor crying? I'm like, I think that's the Dark World. And like, and I was like, honestly, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
And he keeps, like, even when they show back up at the TVA and Wolverine's like,
he keeps asking.
Yeah, he's like, why was Thor crying? I was like, oh my God.
He's not going to let that go.
So fucking good. Yeah. And honestly, I hope we get that moment randomly somewhere later in the Marvel universe, like Thor crying over him and he's like, oh my God, this is what I wanted. I love that instead of talking to us the entire time, sometimes he was just reacting to someone in real time in the movie. It's like, oh my God, yes, he's going to do the thing. And like, you know, like just seeing him react the way that a fan reacts to like Marvel stuff.
That's what it felt like. And, like, that's the nice thing about Deadpool and his movies is he feels like a fan that is going through a story as a fan and reacting as a fan. And, like, I think with this movie, yes, it is full of cameos. You have Elektra, you have Blade, you have X-23, Toad, Sabretooth, Azazel. You have so many cameos. And if you've never seen anything other than the Deadpool movies, you can still enjoy all of it without knowing anything about it.
Even if you're just a Marvel fan and you've never even seen any Marvel movie, you could enjoy it.
Like, if you've never seen the first X-Men where that Sabretooth version comes from,
oh my
you don't
fucking God.
It doesn't matter. That fight with him still, like, it's still like, and that's the thing is like they did everything, like all the cameos, let me back up because I'm losing my train of thought. I feel like when it came to the cameos, my biggest concern was it was just going to be, look at this person, look at this person, look at this person.
Which is what Doctor Strange was.
And that's what it felt like. Yeah. But this, every cameo, like when Johnny was with them, I was like, oh, is he going to be in there? Oh, no, he's dead. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
My concern was that they were going to lean, like, even when you meet the main group and, like, Gambit and Blade and them, I was like, oh, man, I really want them to be in the rest of the movie. But then when they get left behind, I'm like, oh, yeah, that was probably a good idea.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Like, none of them felt like they overstayed their welcome.
You know what I really loved was I loved that, like, when it finally came time to fight, they actually had Gambit fighting. Like, that was fucking
that was the
awesome.
Best.
And
I
not
will
only
watch that clip over.
It's in an R-rated film, so there's blood coming off of people when these cards are exploding. I'm with you. Gambit was one of my favorite X-Men, but it's because he had, like, he was the only X-Men that had swagger. Everybody else was like, we need to get the MacGuffin for this episode. And he was like, I'm just here to throw cards, mon chéri. Like, it was fucking.
I'm going to make them go boom.
I love it.
I charge the cards and make them go boom.
Yeah, it's so, dude. And then, like, when he slapped the cards on the other guys and then he, like, made them detonate, I was like, yes. So
when he pulled out his staff, and I was like,
dude, yes. Dude, which is great. And then he charged the one guy, made him explode. I mean, dude. The
Russian from Punisher.
This had so much good shit in it. And, like, it
was a breath of fresh air.
The things that I appreciated the most were, like, the offhanded nods or, like, the 1-2 punches. Like, the fight with Sabretooth, like, I loved Deadpool's. He's like, people have been waiting for this. And then he kills him in one strike. And I was like, yes, thank you. Good.
Thank you.
and then fucking the cap, like, when Chris Evans shows up, if you don't know the Marvel lore, then you're like, when he first shows up, I feel like most people, because a lot of people don't know that movie because it's from before, like, the MCU. Like, I feel like people are like, Captain America's here. And that's what Deadpool's like. He's like, yeah, Captain America. And then he goes, flame on. I was like, fuck, yeah.
And he's like, and when Deadpool's like, Avengers, I said, flame on. What?
What? Yeah.
And then, like, the fact that the one person he targets is the other fire mutant who absorbs fire.
Hilarious.
Perfect.
I absolutely, I loved everything about that. It was so good. And then and then that's the final end credits. And what I loved about the end credits was he makes the joke earlier in the movie, right? He's like, oh yeah, he said all this shit about you. Yeah. And you're like, I don't remember that, but all right, he's lying. It's funny. And then he goes, let's play the tape back. And then it's him saying it as the end credit scene. But then he says, gotcha, sucker. But he's saying it to us more than to him, right? Like, I loved the way that the movie ends with all of us as Marvel fans sitting in the Marvel theater waiting for the end credits, and then Deadpool going, gotcha. That, chef's kiss to that. That's why I loved sitting for it. I was like, okay, Deadpool literally played a joke on us as fans.
See, now, the only complaint I have about that is I feel like, and this is very much a personal opinion, I'm probably way in the minority, I think that they only had Chris Evans say all that stuff because he played Captain America and was like language and everything in the Marvel world. Yeah. And to me, I was just like, oh, this is just here to be like hey, look, Chris Evans can curse and be nasty.
It's a meta
and I'm like,
joke.
But I mean, it's fine.
It's good. Because then Deadpool says gotcha at the end. And like everybody's waiting. They're like, oh, what's going to happen in phase 5? Like,
I'm glad they didn't do a tease towards what's to come.
Yeah. I'm glad they didn't do that. Yeah. Because this doesn't deserve a tease, and not only that, it ends in a way where it's like, okay, Deadpool and Wolverine could be cameos in anything now, straight up. Like, either one of those characters could be a cameo in anything. But that story itself, for both of them, feels wrapped up. Like, we don't need another. If we got another, it could be anything. It doesn't have to be Deadpool and Wolverine again. It could be whatever. It could be Deadpool whatever. It doesn't matter. Like, because
Deadpool whatever.
Yeah, Deadpool whatever in time. Time and space.
That's actually a good title.
And I like how he did he made fun of the multiverse. He's like, this has just been miss after miss after miss, guys. Like, so
I think
good.
It's been steadily like good since Endgame.
And then like when he's like, Eliath from Loki season 1 episode 5.
Episode 5?
Like, so fucking good. But the references were so good, and then I love how he leans into Hugh Jackman, and he's like, they're going to make you do this till you're 90.
Oh, when he lands on the car, and Peter's there, and he's like, Fox killed him, Disney brought him back to life. They're going to make him do this till he's 90.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Later in the movie, he's like, till you're 90. So that was everything about it was phenomenal. 10 out of 10. Not my favorite, but definitely in the top, like for sure. Absolutely. I was talking with people
before. Best Deadpool movie.
Best Deadpool movie, hands down.
Easily.
Like the first one's really good and tells like a great story and introduces you to the character. The second one is solid in that it's just silly. Like it's like zany slapstick, most of it, right? So that was cool and fun. This is the best. Yeah, for sure. And
Easily.
Of course it's the best. It's got Hugh Jackman. Oh my God. One of my favorite jokes was he will sing the whole second act of The Music Man. Like it was so
with no warm up.
Yeah, it was so fucking good.
And they had a Greatest Showman song in it on the radio briefly.
So good.
Yeah.
All of the little references to the real world are what make Deadpool the character that people love, right? So like I loved it.
One of my favorite bits was when he was talking to Nicepool towards the end, and Deadpool makes a joke, and then Nicepool goes, "I can also gently tap the fourth wall." Looks at the camera and goes, "The proposal." And he was like, "What the fuck was that? Is that what you think I do?" That one got me so hard. I was like,
it was so what? Good. Oh God, yeah, no, solid 10 out of 10.
When Nicepool's like, "She just had a baby, but you can't tell." I don't think you can say that. I identify as a feminist.
Yeah. No, dude. Oh, my God. So fucking everything about the movie was phenomenal.
Oh, here's one thing that I was like, wow, this is the subtle way that I want this kind of inclusion as a non-binary person.
Hit me.
When Deadpool is like, you get he, she, or them down here right now. And I was like, yes.
Yeah,
yes,
no, that was
that's
cool.
Real quick. Subtle way to do it.
Real quick. Nice and easy. So
Loved
good.
It.
Yeah, no. Dude, honestly, like this was just, it was written well. It was executed well. The acting's phenomenal. It was, and we really didn't know what to expect going into it. Like, honestly,
no,
like
I
don't think
idea.
they promoted it in a way that led me to believe that it was going to be this good. And I liked that as well. The promotion for this movie has been phenomenal. Now let's get into some of the promotional material because I ate a Gimme Chimmy pizza last night from DiGiorno. It's a Deadpool-themed pizza.
He's putting on the glasses, folks.
It's flavored like chimichangas. How do you feel about the promotional material for this movie? Interviews and stuff like that, Odie, go.
Oh, I haven't seen any of it. I stayed away from all of it.
How do you feel about the way that they promote Deadpool as a character?
I think they just had Ryan Reynolds be Ryan Reynolds. Like, that's literally what I think they just did. They were just like, be yourself.
Absolutely. All right, so here's what we got for Deadpool pizzas. There's 4 flavors to them, okay?
Where do you get them from?
I got it at Walmart because I just didn't feel like cooking last night. I was so exhausted. I was like, all right, I need to just do a fucking thing. And I went to the store and I was like, I'm going to just make store-bought pizza. I don't give a shit about this.
That's the way to go sometimes.
Yep. So there's 4 flavors. There's the spicy Wolverine, classic crust, right? Yep. The spicy Wolverine, it's a spicy pie with, what does it
sausage.
have? It's got pepperoni and sausage.
Knew it.
Oh, pepperoni, chorizo, and bacon.
I was wrong.
Yep. And then there's the Gimme Chimmy, which is a chimichanga-themed pizza. So, peppers, a little bit of beef. Yep. What's really funny is it says, for steps on the website, it says, step 1, eat pizza. Step 2, put on mask. Step 3, save the world, eat more pizza. Absolutely phenomenal. Then there's the maximum prep.
Oh,
which is just like a pepperoni pizza, kind of a classic. Like that one, I think that's the crowd pleaser. And then there's one that is a reference to the first Deadpool movie. Do you know what is on this pizza?
What's it called?
The Wade Classic, or the Wade Special. It's from the first movie. He does order a pizza with this.
Yeah, I can't remember what's on it. Hit me.
Pineapple.
Okay.
And black olive.
Oh. I wouldn't eat that. I like black olives.
Here's the thing. I remarked to our friend Shane, who invited me to go see the Deadpool movie with this large group of people. This pizza exists. I don't know if it's good or that I would try it. To which Shane replied, after the first movie came out, I ordered a pizza specifically with those 2 toppings. It's surprisingly delicious. I was like, well, now I have to. I have to eat the fucking pizza. I was like,
now I'm going to try it.
I was like, but I'm not going to spend $18 on it. So I'm going to go and get that pizza, the DiGiorno, and try that one.
I thought that's how much the DiGiorno one was, and I was like, what the fuck?
No. Oh, no. I'm not going to order it from a local pizzeria and make them make that. I'm going to go get the DiGiorno version.
Go to Papa John's.
And I'll tell you what, no, fuck Papa John.
I know, I'm just kidding.
And very quick, serious response there. This is how you do comedy correctly. You have a serious moment peppered in. And that's my serious moment. Fuck Papa John. So I'm gonna go get this pizza, and I'll tell you what, if it is good, not only will I tell you it's good, I will then actually at some point, not right away, but at some point, order it from a local pizzeria to see if it's still good.
Oh, you can go for Pizza Hut.
Oh, I'll go down on that for sure. Yeah, Pizza Hut, baby. Dude, Pizza Hut over Papa John's, Domino's over Pizza Hut, local pizzerias over Domino's.
Local pizzerias, Pizza Hut, everything else is garbage.
What?
Okay, but I think I told you about this when you came to visit. The Pizza Hut that is right across the street from my house, I don't know what it is, but that's the best Pizza Hut I've ever fucking had.
You don't like Domino's?
I don't hate Domino's. I just think it's trash.
I love Domino's.
You love Domino's.
I lived off of that for like 2 years, man.
What about Little Caesars?
Pizza. One Domino's pizza a week. Huh?
What about Little Caesars?
Nope, fuck them.
Worst.
Yep, the worst.
The worst.
Papa John's is the worst.
Papa John's is the best.
Papa John's crust tastes like cardboard.
I mean, that's
like
most,
Papa John's
like,
wasn't even good
pizza
and then it turned out he was racist.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
I don't think it's Papa John's anymore.
That was one of those things where I was like, this was canceled in my mind already. I didn't have to cancel anything here. I just didn't like it to begin with. Now I like it less. That's it.
Any other thoughts on Deadpool and Wolverine?
Yeah, I hope we get more self-aware movies like this when it comes to superhero stuff. I would really like superhero movies to be more self-aware. My favorite one is still Thor Ragnarok, which I think is a subtly self-aware superhero film. It still is a really quippy superhero adventure, but it's self-aware, it's contained, it ends, and then it did set up for like the next part of Thor's story. Like we begin his story in Infinity War when right after the end of that movie, right? Yeah. So like that was kind of cool that it did set up into that. But honestly, this is kind of going back to what I said about Love and Thunder. I kind of wish this is what the setup for Love and Thunder would have been. I wish it would have been more insulated. I wish it would have been I wish that story about Gore the God Butcher would have been like just a self-contained, here, all these characters, you care about them, the stakes are real. We might actually kill Thor. Like I thought that would be cool because and not only that, if Thor actually died, that would be cool because we got fucking Tessa Thompson, right?
Oh yeah, Tessa Thompson as Valkyrie.
Let's just
Natalie
have Valkyrie
Portman.
be the new one. No, Natalie Portman's fine, but I forgot about her after the Dark World. Yeah, Tessa Thompson. We got
she
Tessa
didn't
Thompson,
show up
man.
after the Dark World.
Why do we don't need anything else? Thor can die. It's fine. He did the Infinity War arc.
There's also other Thors. There's other Thors that you could do.
I know.
Let me ask you this. I'm gonna name the upcoming Marvel movies that are coming in the next. I want to see if are any of these you're interested.
Are they on my radar?
Yes. The first one, and this one's on my radar, Captain America Brave New World. That looks good.
I want to see what it's rated first. Keep going.
PG-13, unfortunately. But I think it looks good. Then we have Thunderbolts.
Okay.
Interested? Yes or no?
Meh.
This is the one that I have
If you would have said Thunderbolts in 2019, I would have been like, hell yeah.
It should have been the movie right after Endgame.
Yeah.
I agree.
100%. Because it would have been another Guardians of the Galaxy, but it wouldn't have had to be Guardians of the Galaxy. Once again, Thunderbolts should be a self-contained thing. Just like the comics. So many of these comics are self-contained, even though they tell stories that go on, and every once in a while they have a crossover. We don't need a crossover every other movie. Keep going.
Okay, now this next one is the one that I have been waiting for since 2007.
Okay.
The new Fantastic Four. I think this is going to be incredible.
We already got another new Fantastic Four since 2007. We got one.
Oh,
it was in 2014.
That doesn't count.
That counts. It counts.
That doesn't count.
It existed.
Okay, but it sucked.
It was a real thing. Michael B. Jordan was in it.
It sucked.
Yeah, it sucked like the first one.
But this one is set in the 60s with Pedro Pascal and, It's got the guy from Stranger Things.
Who
the guy
plays
from
Johnny?
Bear.
Who plays Johnny Storm?
It's cool. Joseph Quinn from Stranger Things.
Okay.
Eben Moss. How do you say his name? Eben Moss. The guy from The Bear, cousin.
Okay.
He's Ben Grimm.
Okay.
Vanessa Kirby is Sue Storm, and Pedro Pascal is Mr. Fantastic. It's awesome. I'm excited.
Who's the Invisible Girl?
Vanessa Kirby.
Okay.
And then John Malkovich is in this as something.
And then who's Miss Fantastic?
Well, that's the same person. The Invisible Woman and Sue Storm are Vanessa Kirby.
Who's the? There's 2 ladies on the Fantastic Four. No.
Nope,
No, there's only one.
All right.
Oh yeah. Who's the Thing?
the cousin from The Bear.
Oh, who's Dr. Doom?
Hasn't been cast yet. The guy Ralph Ineson from one of my favorite movies, Hurricane Heist, is playing Galactus.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm into that. I like Galactus. I hope that that means Silver Surfer is going to be in this one.
Oh, Silver Surfer is a woman.
Oh.
And her name
Good.
is me not stalling. I can't wait.
As long as she's not emo. Like super emo. Like that first Silver Surfer shows up and he's just like, I let my whole planet down and I'm gonna.
I mean, that's kind of his whole
real sad this entire time. Yeah, but don't be real sad the entire time. Have some joy. Like find some things. Like be multi-dimensional. Anyway.
Julia Gardner.
Oh, cool. Nice.
Yeah.
I could be convinced, but maybe not theaters. I don't know.
We'll see.
I gotta see how it's looking, man.
We'll see the trailer.
Yeah.
And then apparently Blade is eventually going to come out. That movie was announced in 2017.
It's been too long.
And then Avengers Untitled movie. Who cares?
Okay.
Wow, that's it.
Hold on though.
Yes.
Anthony Mackie as Captain America.
Mm-hmm.
Daphne Keane is still kicking around as X-23. I mean, could be an Avengers member. Like, I'd really like to see, since this is kind of like a reset reboot type thing, who's the girl that played Hawkeye's daughter? I forget her name. She was in Pitch Perfect 2.
Yes.
Haley Steinfeld.
Steinfeld.
Yeah. She's actually a good actress, and I'd like to see her be a cooler version of Hawkeye in the Avengers. Like, I would really like to see the next Hawkeye be cool. I do like what they did with Miss Marvel, and I would like to see Miss Marvel as an Avenger. I don't want any more of being force-fed the Marvel's possible own cinematic universe. I'm done with that. That was good attempt. Thank you. Nice try. You failed. It was just as bad as Wonder Woman, and I want those movies to be better. Like, we need better movies that aren't like, this is all about it's ladies' night here. Like,
see, the thing is,
I don't like
that
ladies' night in the real world.
The problem with the Marvels, and I haven't seen it, but the problem isn't the fact that it's an all-women cast. The problem is that it's bad pacing, bad writing, and it looked awful.
But that's what I mean. Is like, these
I
movies need to be made better because I do want all female-led cast. I not only that, I want to be engaged in them in a way where I walk away going, that was actually one of the best. That's what I want. But instead, what I think happens is people lose sight of the plot. That actually is a pun right now. They lose sight of the plot in writing a movie. They're like, it's all ladies, just curb stomping dudes with dicks, and like, it's like, and I'm being hyperbolic, but it feels like they lose track of what makes a really good movie in trying to create all of these beats that are like, she don't need no man, and like, she's independent. It's like, well, just let her be a real fucking person instead of like a caricature of independence. Yeah, like,
you can write them as strong characters. This
isn't a Destiny's Child music video. This is a fucking movie, and I would like to like it more. Right?
I agree.
The reason I like a Destiny's Child video so much is it's short. It's to the point. We like it. We got a little Kelly Rowland. It's great. Revealing a lot about my tastes on this. What was your jam this week?
Oh, my God. You can't just jump right into that.
What?
You never give any lead up.
Yes, I can.
You never give any lead up.
That was a nice lull in conversation. There's no lead up. It's a lull, and then we go, what's your jam? We come back up. There's a valley that we go through, and then we say, what's your jam?
You catch me by surprise every single time.
I don't know why I catch you by surprise. It's literally part of the podcast every week. Like,
you're
like, oh, I wasn't prepared for my jam again this week. You are terminally unprepared as a chef to do this podcast.
Absolutely.
Well, I'll tell you what my jam is this week because it's short and sweet and to the point. It's fucking Gojira playing the Paris Olympics opening ceremonies. That is my jam. That is it. Like, what a great moment for metal music. What a great band to have picked. They're fucking from France. Absolutely top-notch. Whoever coordinated the Paris 2024 Olympic opening ceremonies. Salute to you, sir. Viva la fucking France. All right, what's your jam?
My jam, honestly, would probably have to be this week.
Your jam is being unprepared.
My jam is being unprepared. I'm severely unprepared. I'm not gonna lie to you. Here's a peek behind the curtain. Every time, like, we lead up into the podcast, like on Fridays, I'll be like, oh yeah, like, what's my jam gonna be? Oh, I'll figure it out. And then we start recording, and then there's like always a thought in the back of my mind. I'm like, hey, you never came up with anything for your jam. And I'm like, no, it's fine. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out as I get to it. And then you're like, what's your jam? And that thought goes, hey, you fucked up.
My jam, my jam at one point was Action Bronson 3 weeks in a row. My jam 5 times this year has been Action Bronson, and I am not ashamed to come in with that. Your jam could be In Sync and Ryan Reynolds dancing to it.
Here's my jam.
What?
Because the thing is like, my problem with jams is like usually what I'm watching is for my YouTube channel, so I don't like to talk about it because I'm going to talk about it on YouTube.
Okay.
But the movie that I'm getting ready to start working on is the movie Death Race 2000 from 1975.
That's your jam?
Yes. It's a good movie. It's funny.
Cool.
It's stupid.
Yeah. See, your jam can be a movie.
And it's 1 year before Sylvester Stallone came out with Rocky, and he plays Machine Gun Joe in this movie. Mm-hmm. And it's very interesting to see a young Sly Stallone play a character like Machine Gun Joe from 1975.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess that's my jam. One of these days I'll be prepared, Kevin, but don't count on it.
Well, I finished my water that was conveniently filled in my commemorative Deadpool Wolverine cup. So that's the end of the podcast, baby.
Is it?
Yeah, it should be. I mean, I can tell you one of the funniest things that happened on the way to the movie, and we can end on that note because it'll make you go,
do it.
Huh? And then I'm going to talk about it later this season because I'm going to do a deep dive this season. You're going to do a Star Wars deep dive again, right?
Again.
You're bringing us back into Star Wars. I'm going to do a deep dive that covers the entire fucking ACOTAR series because I have now talked about it with so many people. ACOTAR. A Court of Thorns and Roses, the fairy fucking. That series, yeah.
I was like, what the fuck is that?
I love that I can just say the fairy. You're like, yes, the fairy fucking. Yes, we knew that one. So I have now talked about this with so many people, and I cannot tell you how many LGBTQ people and women are surprised that a very obviously cisgendered het white male has read these books. But not only that, they're like, I have many thoughts. I have many thoughts about them, but I have thoughts about something else that Stephanie made me watch recently. It's called My Lady Jane. And this is where I'm going to end this. My Lady Jane, Stephanie, okay, first off, when a friend says you should watch this, there's something in it you're going to hate. 1, watch it. 2, when the thing shows up that you hate, stop watching it. This is my lesson because I watched into episode 3, and the thing that I hated, Stephanie's like, you should watch My Lady Jane. I was like, okay, I'll check it out, right? So I turn on My Lady Jane. The beginning's like, oh, what if Lady Jane Grey had a different history? Because fuck history, we're going to retell it. And I'm like, all right, that's pretty cool. I like that. It's irreverent. It's cool. It's a new take. They made a reference to Six, the musical. Cool, I'm in. As I'm watching it, I'm like, all right, she's quippy. She's a young, independent female. It seems relatively self-aware. Oh, they're making a guy perform oral sex on a girl. What a power switch. This is cool. I'm into it. And then like something happened and I had to stop watching. I was probably like 15 to 20 minutes in, right? And I'm like, oh, the thing that I was going to hate didn't happen. And Stephanie said it happened pretty quick. So I guess, who knows? Maybe I missed it. And then she's like, no, you have to watch it. So we start the show over. And I rewatch all of the stuff and all the same comments, right? Everything that I just said. And then, and I have to mention, there's a narrator in the show with like a British accent. I don't know who it is. I don't know who's narrating, but the narration is like, it's cool. It's kind of like old school Baroque style narration, right? And then Lady Jane Grey is trying to run away because she's going to be forced to marry some dude who she thinks is like, I don't know, a man whore or whatever. It doesn't matter. There's no stakes here. And then so she's running away with her maid, and then they show up and they're like, we're going to fucking kill your maid, and we're going to say that it was her idea for you girls to run away because we had horses and you didn't. Why you didn't pick a horse? I don't know, but we're here now and she's going to die. And then the maid turns into a bird and flies off. And then the narrator goes, oh, by the way, there's Ethians in this world, and Ethians are blah, 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 blah. And I was like, Stephanie, you're right. I fucking hate this show. Like, immediately. Cannot do that. And then there's like a 5-minute expo dump on what the fuck Ethians are and the entire world building that should have been shown and not told, which is one of my biggest pet peeves when I'm watching something. They were just like, oh, by the way, we're going to explain all of the universe that this is in for you. It's fantasy the whole time. We gotcha. And I was like, I fucking hate this now. But I got all the way to episode 3, and I got to tell you, the one thing that has come out of the show, and maybe I'll bring this up when I do the ACOTAR deep dive, because I think they both suffer from similar things. And I was talking about the show with somebody, and the main love interest turns into a horse, right?
Not a bird?
No, he turns into a horse. The woman, the female protagonist, is in love with a man who turns into a horse, and I'm like, well, nobody likes where this is going.
No.
And then, but here's the thing. As I was explaining it, the term came up because he turns into a horse because he can't control his Ethian powers. Normally, people can control them and do it at will, right? He can't. So he turns into a horse when the sun comes up. He is, in fact, and this is the one thing that this show has given me that I absolutely love, a reverse werehorse. And that, my friend, is something golden that I will keep forever. Reverse werehorse is a phrase that exists now.
I can hear the theme music.
That's the end of the podcast.
Just do it.
Reverse werehorse. Reverse werehorse. Reverse werehorse. It's fucking the worst. Yeah.